Guys, don't you just love the cards for this month's card club? So we're going to make those cards today. If you are new to my card club, it is a club I offer every month. I use one stamp set and I make 3 different cards with that set. And what you will get is, if you qualify, you will get a package in the mail, just like this, and it will include all of the materials to make the 3 cards. It will not include any stamped images, any inks, or any adhesives on here, but you'll get any die cuts or ribbons needed to make that. You also will get a PDF file with all of the materials used and a link to the current video. So if you're new to my card club, what you need to do is make a $35 purchase pre-tax, pre-shipping at my store. You need to reside in the US. You also need to leave me your contact information so I can mail you your goodies. And you need to use the current host code for the month. So, and that is listed here in the video. If you qualify, then you'll get this package in the mail. And if you spend $150 or more, do not use my host code. You will get your own. You'll get your own rewards, but you still will receive this package from me in the mail. If you make a qualifying purchase for 6 months in a row, you automatically qualify for a free current stamp set valued at $25. That's just my gift to you. And then what I'll do is I'll just get in touch with you and let you know, and then you can let me know which stamp set you would like to receive. So we're going to get started. The first card is right here on top. I'll put them in order. So we're going to take our first card and we're going to slide all the rest of our materials to the side. So we are using this stamp set Charming Cafe for our cards today. And we are also using the framelits, Cafe Builder framelits. So if you purchase these, right now they're through occasion, so it's only available through March 31st. But if you purchase these together, you actually save 10%. So the first thing you're going to do is we're going to put all our pieces aside. You're going to have your Whisper White card, and we're going to fold that in half. And then you want to take your bone folder. So you're going to see your piece of designer series paper. So this one here is from the Sweet Soiree, and this is going to layer on the front of your card just like so, but we're not going to anchor that down yet. You're going to notice it's going to come right to the edges, but then it's going to frame out a little bit of the white here. So what we're doing is we're going to stamp in the middle here. We're going to stamp out the little window scene. So you want to just stamp that out in Memento ink because we're going to do some coloring on that. So once you have that inked up, you're going to kind of figure out where your window is going to lie. So I kind of put it off towards the edge here. I didn't really want it right in the center. So in your package, you're going to have 4 pieces of ribbon. So this is from the celebration item. When you spend $50, you will receive 3 rolls of ribbon in a pack. It's the Shimmer Ribbon Combo Pack. So it's Basic Gray, Bermuda Bay, and Calypso Coral. So you're going to take your 2 pieces of Calypso Coral, and they're going to lie right on the edge here. So what I'll do is, there's a couple of things you can do. You can take Scotch tape, but I like to just do something quick. So I'm going to take my snail adhesive or your fast fuse if you have your fast fuse. Right now Stampin' Up! Is no longer selling fast fuse, but they do have the refills still available. I like to just put some kind of adhesive there. It's quicker for me. And then what you're going to do is wrap this right around the back, and it'll stick to your adhesive back there. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you kind of line it up and put that right on your adhesive. So there's your piece. You'll have your 2 pieces of ribbon on there. Now you can go ahead and glue this to the front. So it's up to you if you want to use your snail adhesive or your fast fuse or your Tombow mono glue. So I am going to use my fast fuse. You're just going to put this right over top of your card here. and leave a little bit of a frame for your white. Then I'm going to color this window in. Now, it's completely up to you guys. If you want to color the window in before you lay this down, you can. I'm just going to do it now because I have less to color. So what I'm using is I'm using the Smoky Slate marker, and I'm using Flirty Flamingo. So I'm just going to color in the just the window frame gray and all the little lines on here gray, and then I'm going to color the thicker lines the Flirty Flamingo. So then we're going to take the little chair and table set here, and we're going to stamp that out with the Memento ink. So you're just going to want to lie this on top of here and stamp it out. It obviously is a lot easier to stamp this first and then use your, because this is the card club, you're going to have to just line this up. Okay, so once you have that stamped out, we're going to set that aside. We're going to let that dry, just make sure it's dry, and then we're going to do the rest of the stamping on here. We're going to take the thanks out of here, and we're going to stamp that out. So you're going to take, in your set is a stitch shape framelit. This was cut using the second smallest one, and this is cut on powdered pink paper. So we're going to take this, you're going to take your Emboss Buddy, and you're just going to rub the Emboss Buddy right over the top. You're going to take your Versamark ink and stamp out your thanks right in the center of this. Just going to take your silver embossing powder and just sprinkle that on the top. And again, I always put down a scrap piece of paper. And then if you have a pair of tweezers, you can just pick that up with your tweezers, and most of that will come right off for you. You're just going to heat emboss this. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take your inks, Cobbler and Pacific Point. So you're just going to take your ink pad, squeeze to get some color on the bottom. So you'll have your ink on the bottom here. And then you're just going to take your aqua painter, pick some of that up. I didn't squeeze any water. I picked some of that up and I just kind of went over the bottom here and just colored in the tile area. So then we're going to move on to the Pacific Point. Again, squeeze this middle of your ink pad and you'll put some ink down here. And then you want to make sure your aqua painter is clean, so just kind of squeeze it until it runs clear. So then I'm just going to pick up some of this and I'm just going to paint the bottle here right in the center. And that's all I'm doing for adding color to it. Again, you guys color it the whole thing if you want. Then you're going to need Berry Burst ink, optional if you want to do this part. But what I did was I just took this thanks here and I just kind of rolled it around in the Berry Burst just to kind of give it, again, that depth, that texture. It's one of my favorite things to do. It really stands out when you do this. Now we're just going to finish assembling this card. So we're going to use the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to pop up both of these items here. So then you're just going to pop this up off to the side here up at the top. And then your little chair set here, I just kind of put towards the bottom off to the side. Just like that. And then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to find your 2 strips of the basic gray ribbon. And this is just going to go on here. And you're just going to tie a basic little knot. So it'll look like that, and then of course you just want to trim those edges off. Just going to trim these at an angle. And I trimmed them pretty close. So there's card number 1, super cute. So now we're going to move on to our next card. So the second card is your Berry Burst cardstock. So my favorite Lemon Lime Twist I'm using in here. I love these combos, the Berry Burst, the Lemon Lime Twist, and I love putting black in there too, but we don't have any black on this one. So this one here, you're going to get the basket weave design on your Lemon Lime Twist. So it'll come already with your basket weave on here. The basket weave is available right now through Celebration. You can get that with a stamp set paired together for free when you spend $100. So you're going to take your Berry Burst cardstock. We're going to fold that and of course use your bone folder to give that a good crease. You're going to have a piece of the corduroy ribbon, and this is about 6.5 inches long, and it's going to layer right over the front of this basket weave. So again, snail adhesive, fast fuse, whatever you want to use to kind of give you something to put that ribbon on. You can also use your Scotch tape. So then this is going to go right on the front of this card. I'm going to use my fast fuse. So you can use that or your Tombow mono glue. I really recommend a stronger adhesive versus the snail adhesive for this. So then we're going to set this aside. You're going to find some more pieces in here. This piece came from the center of your first card. So we're going to use this piece, and then in here, and these were cut with the framelits in here, your larger framelit, and then this one here was cut with this framelit. So you're going to take this piece of, and these are all very vanilla, so we're going to take this piece here, and we're going to stamp out the sentiment, I am lucky to have a friend like you. We're going to use Berry Burst to stamp that out, and you're going to stamp that kind of in the center of this. So we're going to set that aside. Then you're going to take your Memento ink, and we're going to stamp out, in here is this bigger stamp right here. So these are the flowers we're going to stamp. Again, it obviously is easier to stamp these out first and then cut them. But being that this is the card club, you're going to get your pieces already cut. So you're going to have to line these up with this and stamp these out. So in order to do this, the easiest way would be to ink up your stamp, lay your stamp out, ink it up. And then take your piece, line it up over here, and stamp it this way instead of trying to eyeball it the other way. This way would be much easier to do. And you kind of just rub your finger on there and pull this right off. And you'll have a nice impression. And that way is a lot easier. It's a little messier because you're probably gonna get some ink on your hands, but then you're gonna want to do that again, because you have the two pieces there. Make sure before you pick up this piece that your hands are dry of your Memento, so you don't want to smear it. And then just use your fingers to kind of press it in. And perfect. So these are going to get colored, but we're going to let them kind of dry a little bit, and we're going to assemble as much of the card as we can. So you're going to want to go ahead and anchor this down to your designer series paper. This, again, like I said, comes from your first card, the Sweet Soiree designer series paper. This is the center from that. So you're just going to kind of line this up. And then this is going to lay right on top of here again. I'm recommending a stronger adhesive, so I'm just going to use my liquid glue. So this is just going to kind of layer right on the top. If you're using the mono liquid glue, you just want to hold this down for a minute until it kind of tacks up. So then you have your piece of Very Vanilla. This is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. This is going to layer on the inside so you have a place to write. So you can use your snail adhesive to anchor that one down. So these are just going to be colored in with the markers, Berry Burst and Lemon Lime Twist. So the flowers are all going to be Berry Burst and the leaves are going to be Lemon Lime Twist. So once those guys are all colored in, you're going to flip them around and you're going to put the mini Stampin' Up! Dimensionals on these and just pop them up around the front. So I have quite a few dimensionals on there. I want to make sure that they pop up nicely. So you're just going to border these around the edge here, just like that. And that's it to the second card. So now we're going to move on to our third card. So I really like all of these cards, but I think this one here is my favorite. So in here, you're going to have lots of pieces. You're just going to take your Marina Mist, fold it in half on the score line, and again, A2 card base. You're going to find a piece of silver foil sheet in here. This one here is cut at 3 by 5.5. This is going to go right on the front of your card. So it's going to layer just like this. And we're going to go ahead and glue that down. So I'm going to use my Fast Fuse to glue this down. It is a stronger paper, so Tombow Mono Glue would work, or your Fast Fuse. This is just going to layer right in the center here. Just like that. And then you're going to have 2 pieces of the Springtime Foil Designer Series paper. This product is free right now through Celebration. It is free with a $50 purchase. You get 3 each of 4 different designs. These are cut at 1.5 by 2 7/8. I already have adhesive on the back of these. You're also going to find in your packet 3 pieces of Berry Burst ribbon. So you're going to take 2 of these pieces, and 1 piece is going to go right over the center, just like so. And because I have the adhesive back there, I'm just going to wrap it around. So once I have that on here, again, I've already put my adhesive on. So I'm just going to put this down here at the bottom, and your silver foil paper will give a little bit of a border to this. You're going to do the same thing with your other piece. You're going to just layer that ribbon right across the center of that. Bend it on the back. And then again right up towards the top, and it's going to have a little bit of a border of that silver foil paper. Now what you're going to do is you're going to find your little pieces over here, and you have a piece of Very Vanilla. This here was cut with the classic label punch. So you're going to take the Life is Better with You in it, and we're going to stamp that right on top of there. So I'm just going to use Memento. You can use your basic black on this. And then you're just going to line this up on here. You could tip this up and put it on top like I did before, but I think I can line this up pretty well by looking at it. And then while we have our stamping out, we're going to stamp out the table and chair. You're going to find your table and chair set in here. Again, this is cut out of Marina Mist. So again, basic black or your Memento ink will work. And I'm going to line this up and just stamp this out. So this is going to get just glued flat down. I'm going to use the liquid glue here to glue this down. So I just centered this. I put a little bit of it on the Designer Series paper and then the rest on the foil, silver foil. Then you're going to find a piece of Marina Mist. This here is cut at 1/2 inch by 2 1/4. So you're going to take your little Life is Better with You in it. We're going to glue this to that. So fast fuse, snail adhesive, whatever you want to use to glue it on there. So once you have that glued on, what I did was I just took my paper snips and I just snipped off these ends at an angle. Just like that. And then I pop this up on the front of the card. So I just used some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, and I'm just going to pop this up right in the center over my table here. And then the last thing is your piece of berry burst. I just tied a little knot on the bottom here. And then you want to trim your ends. I just went straight across with it. You can do angles, whatever you'd like. So those are the cards this month for the card club. And don't forget, guys, this is the last month of celebration. So any of those products that you want for free, you only have until the 31st to get them. And I forgot to mention, guys, there's a piece of Very Vanilla. I already glued it on here. You just want to glue it to the inside of your card so you have a place to write. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.